The Jonesboro Advertising and Promotion Commission welcomes you to the Downtown Jonesboro Barbecue and Music Festival. This year's festival kicks off Friday, September 28th with the second annual SCA State Contest and live music from Fuel. Then Saturday, it's the 10th annual KCBS Sanctioned Barbecue Contest with $10,000 in cash prizes. Then Saturday night, Smash Mouth rocks the Ritter Communications stage.
Hey now, you're an all-star.
It's the Downtown Jonesboro Barbecue and Music Festival, September 28th and 29th, presented by the Jonesboro A&P Commission.
It's good to have you in with us this afternoon on NEA Report. Stan Morris reporting along with you, and here's a look at the rundown for today. There's been an Issue 1 ruling that's come down from Pulaski County Court. This is breaking news that just came in a short time ago. You've probably seen some of the posts about it, but there's not been a whole lot to really break it down yet. So is Issue 1 done? Is it dead? No, probably not, but it did have a serious setback today. So we're going to talk about that. I've already gotten a little bit of legal information and analysis from my friends across town. Mark Reese, who's given me a little bit of info to help out, but we'll hopefully break that down so everybody can understand it just a bit better. Also today on the show, we're talking about more stories. We've got a number of them. You can see in the rundown there. Tragic story to update you on with the infant in the CPR video. As a matter of fact, that's why I pulled yesterday's show offline and the video down as well. A missing woman's family still asking for help. New photos released in her case, and we're hoping that maybe these new photos can help to find her. Mark Tree denied a Freedom of Information Act request, their school district did, that I had submitted earlier this week, actually last week. I'm going to tell you what that was for and what they denied it for too. Plus enrollment at Arkansas State University and the Century Center, a really big building in downtown Jonesboro. It is under new ownership. We're talking about that and a lot more. That's all next on NEA Report. Glad to have you in with us today. It's Thursday, September the 6th, 2018, and we're glad to have you in with us here on NEA Report. Stan Morris reporting along with you today as we're looking at a number of different stories to tell you about. The first up tonight, of course, a judge just issuing a ruling a short time ago against Issue 1. Pulaski County Circuit Judge Mackie Pierce deciding today that the proposal violates the state's constitution by combining two disparate measures into one amendment. In other words, two measures that should not be together in one amendment are the reason why that this may not actually be voted on, even though it's probably going to be on the ballot. The judge ordering that the election officials not count any votes on the measure. However, that doesn't mean it's dead. It just means it's probably in limbo right now because it's likely going to be going before the state Supreme Court next. In fact, I talked to Mark Reese a short time ago. He said that it's an expectation that the state Supreme Court's probably going to hear this. However, what the ruling does mean, if the ruling is upheld by the state Supreme Court, is that the Issue 1, a lot of controversy about that, is not going to be voted on. It would be voted on, it's just the votes won't be cast. That's the order from the Pulaski County judge. So we're going to see what happens with that. I'm sure that we're going to have more news on that. However, that was just a short time ago that that news was breaking. We definitely wanted to bring that along to you. Issue 1 related to placing limits on attorney's fees, also caps on non-economic and punitive damages awarded in lawsuits. The opponents of this say it's big business's effort to once again try to stick it to the little guy, while of course the people that are behind it, the proponents, are saying that this is stuff that would help and make a more sensible economic situation for some of those who are subject to lawsuits, especially like, for instance, nursing homes. We'll see what happens with this. We're going to be following that one very closely, though, for the next few days. Speaking of news that we have been following and tragic news that we're going to have to update you on now, a story that I wish I didn't have to tell you about. The infant in the CPR video we showed you yesterday passed away. Just an awful tragedy to be reporting. The child passed away. We pulled the video, yesterday's show, and the video off of Facebook due to that. When we found the video, we were given the video, we did not know at the time the child's condition. Tragically, we learned it later yesterday after the show that the child did not make it. The details were late coming into Craighead County, primarily because that the child had been in Memphis for treatment. Our hearts are with the family during this terrible, terrible time. Can't imagine what they're going through. So sorry. A missing woman's family is asking for help, and they're hoping that maybe some of these new photos could help jog someone's memory. Lisa Elliott Prescott, 57, of Jonesboro, has been missing since September 1st. There's some new photos of her on the screen right there. You can see 5'8", 175 pounds, brown hair, green eyes, and missing from the Valley View area since September 1st. These photos were said by the family to be more accurate and representative of what they thought the public might recognize if they saw her now. If you have any information, the family really is worried about this lady, and they're hoping that you might be able to help them out. Give a call to Jonesboro Police Department, 870-935-6710, if you have any information that could assist. The Mark Tree School District has denied a Freedom of Information Act request from NEA Report. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that now. The principal there resigned, of course, after a misconduct or conduct investigation was open. She resigned just a few short days after that. It's a story we've been covering here since the end of last month on NEA Report, and we submitted several Freedom of Information Act requests. One of those was for credit card receipts to try to find out if there was some type of perhaps any kind of misconduct in spending. We received those, and so far we've not been able to find anything unusual in them, but we're still going over them. We also sent a Freedom of Information Act request for surveillance video, and this was of interest. Because this elicited the denial on the Freedom of Information Act request. Whenever I submitted it, the denial was that that was part of personnel records, indicating that a tip that I received may have been correct, that security camera footage was involved in at least the discovery of the alleged misconduct that the principal ended up leaving her job as a result of. We don't know exactly what that video shows, and we may never know, but it's still our effort right now to try to find out more information about that. And of course, that's why we've been sending Freedom of Information Act free record requests to schools. We hope to find out more about that, but we hit another roadblock with that denial, and I just want to mention it was the Arkansas Attorney General's office that did issue the opinion that they did not have to release that footage. Attorney General's office sent that out. It was not done specifically by Leslie Rutledge. It was done by one of her deputies. Bullying in Arkansas, and it's bad. It's probably worse than a lot of us realize. In fact, I saw some folks in chat talking about it already. Ms. Rivers mentioning that it's bad in Jonesboro schools and mentioning sad. Well, there's a story out, actually a new ranking list, a study, if you will, from WalletHub. And it's saying that bullying is not just bad in Arkansas, it's perhaps among the worst in America in Arkansas. The new ranking says that bullying in Arkansas is the number 2 in the nation. The only state that ranks above Arkansas in that is Louisiana, which, by the way, is right next door to us. And the state ranking in number 3 is Missouri, which is right above us. So, generally speaking, it's not looking good for this part of the United States in relation to bullying. And that was not just one specific statistic, but it was also that Arkansas was not doing good on the impact and the treatment of bullying. Like, in other words, we're not addressing it enough. That's where we ranked first in America, according to WalletHub.com. They say the highest percentage of high school students bullied on school property in America was in Arkansas, ranking number 1 there. Some very serious numbers that appeared there. And honestly, stuff that we probably need to address. You remember we showed you some of the video last week, some bullying stuff that took place. And one of the issues, it seems like, is not just the children, but the parents and the adults. It's like this. We had a lot of adults that said, oh, the kids offered excuses. It wasn't just their fault. Kids always offer excuses. It's almost like people forget their logic. Children will never be wrong if you ask them if they're wrong. So, of course, if parents aren't doing the diligence and fact-checking what their kids say and approaching it with skepticism, and especially if they're allowing bad behavior to be justified, that's probably why you're seeing the numbers so bad. In Arkansas, those numbers were not very good. On WalletHub.com, if you'd like to check that out, it is available for you to read more. While we're talking about education, enrollment is down at Arkansas State University, but there's a few reasons behind that, and I want to talk about those. I looked through the press release, and I think I saw a bit of information, at least, that others are going to miss here locally. Let's talk about that, because the press release says less foreign students are attending college in the United States overall. And that's likely due to the Trump administration's strict policies on immigration. If you don't have any friends who are living in the United States with a work visa or a green card, then you probably don't know the challenges that have increased for them over the past 2 years. However, they're serious and they're real. I've got friends that specifically here in Jonesboro have had to go through those issues and that have explained to me how that once a process that was difficult but easier is now more difficult than ever, and it's discouraging for people that want to come to America from outside of our country. But aside from that, and that causing a potential role, at least, in the dip of enrollment at Arkansas State University, the university's officials indicated that they were happy with the numbers, indeed saying that they were happy with seeing vital areas, including retention and first-time students numbers that were showing up impressively so. That coming from Chancellor Kelly Damphousse at Arkansas State University. Some economic news to tell you about in Jonesboro now, as the Century Center. It's a building in downtown Jonesboro. It's kind of off of the main area downtown. It's on Washington Avenue, sort of like if you were driving by the old police station there, the Justice Complex. Well, that is now going to be under new ownership. And this is news from TalkBusiness.net. We saw that today from our buddy George Jarrett, who reported that the property was purchased by City First Property Group for $2.1 million. That's a combination there of Jerry Halsey Jr., Roddy Thrasher, Gary Harpole, John Drum, and Tim Thrasher. They're all partners in the project. It's a ton of office space, 26,700 square feet of office space downtown, and one of the largest buildings downtown, too, but a building that's kind of, flown under the radar for the last few years, if you will. Hopefully some neat stuff will come from this acquisition that we're hearing about from our friends at TalkBusiness.net. Well, the weather. We're going to be talking about that next on NEA Report because, as you've probably heard, the winds outside from Tropical Storm, whatever its name is, have been moving through, and we've, of course, got a lot of rain that's in the forecast. We've already seen a little bit, and we've got a lot on the way. But cooler temperatures are also on the way. It's a little bit of good news, maybe. So we're going to give you the good news and the bad if you're not looking for rain. That's all next on NEA Report. Glad to have you in today.
Family Medical Clinic of Walnut Ridge and Bono are your neighborhood healthcare providers, and we're now accepting new patients. We know you have a tight schedule, so we're here 6 days a week at both locations from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Walk-ins are welcome. In Walnut Ridge, stop by 1045 West Main Street or call us to make an appointment, 886-8300. In Bono, we're on Highway 63 North or call 930-9990. Walnut Ridge Family Medical Clinic and Bono Family Medical Clinic, here for you when you need us.
Time for a look at your new Wave Wireless weather forecast, home of the $49 iPhone screen repair. It's good to see you today here on NEA Report. I'm Stan Morris. It's 322 in Jonesboro. It's also a lot cooler than I was expecting it to be today. It's 83 degrees with overcast skies outside today. Feels pretty nice out there, to be honest with you. And it's going to feel pretty good the next few days, too, if you avoid the rain. If you're okay with the rain, you're really going to like this forecast. Here's what it looks like. New Wave Wireless, the $49 iPhone screen repair, and they're bringing you this forecast. It looks like this. We've got showers likely this afternoon, maybe a thunderstorm too, mostly cloudy, a high around 84, and expect those showers to be likely tonight with up to an inch of rainfall coming down. It could cause a little bit of localized flash flooding, and it's not going to be helped on Friday. Another half inch of rain possible, another 3/4 of an inch possible Friday night. We're talking about a lot of possible rainfall over the next several days. A half an inch possible Saturday, and then maybe a half an inch Saturday night too. A number of inches of rainfall accumulating over the next several days, so you just want to get ready for that. Those low-lying areas, I'm guessing Caraway Road's probably going to feel it at least a little. Hopefully not, but we'll see. Now, let's let's look at the actual numbers in the forecast tonight. 71 for the low. Tomorrow, 86 for your high. 72 tomorrow night. 83 by Saturday. 80 by Sunday and Monday, too. But the showers and thunderstorms are gone. It looks like by the time Monday gets here with just partly sunny skies as we start out our next week. You might even get lucky and not see many showers on Sunday, too. They're saying a 40% chance for those right now, but I think that's when they're going to be tapering off. And none too soon with the rain chances, including a lot of accumulation for rainfall, rolling through the next several days. Let's see if we can pull up the radar right now because we're seeing a whole lot of stuff on it at the moment, as a matter of fact. It's, as I mentioned, 83 degrees outside. There's what the radar looks like. Check that out. It's just scattered greenness. That's not the technical term, but I probably don't know what it is. It's the tropical storm rolling up through here that was a lot of worry for a lot of farmers, especially folks were worried that was going to cause some serious issue with, their crops and stuff, and still a lot of rainfall expected from this, so it's still possible that that's going to be a tough situation for them. But as I mentioned, we are expecting to see that rainfall this afternoon and tonight, so just get ready for that, okay? Glad to have you in with us today on NEA Report. I think I've said that 3 times, but there's the 4th. I'm Stan Morris. We're now wrapping things up for us today, just hitting the pretty much the end of all of our news that we've been able to gather for you. We're glad to have you in with us, though. We hope you'll join us tomorrow. We're going to be doing something a little bit different tomorrow, as a matter of fact, as I'm looking through here, because we talked about issue 1 today, right? And we know that that's a big worry and a big concern for a lot of folks. Well, tomorrow at the Jonesboro Chamber of Commerce, NEA Political Animals is going to be hosting at noon a debate on issue 1. There's going to be a proponent and an opponent. So we're hopefully going to hear both sides of the debate, and we're planning on live streaming that event tomorrow. Once again, that starts at noon. It's going to be especially interesting considering the ruling that came down from the Pulaski County judge today. Hopefully we'll find out more about that ruling tomorrow, and we'll find out more from both sides about why this is good according to one side and not so good according to the other. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you tomorrow at noon for a special edition of NEA Report, and until then, you're up to date.